name is Rachel, and today I'm back to finish up my top 10 Tuesday list. So I just had too many great picks, so on Tuesday I published my top 10 underrated books for adult and YA age range, and today I'm going to be talking about children's picture books and a few middle grade books that I think are underrated. So here we go with another top 10. So we're going to start with the juvenile picture books. I feel like a lot of these are newer picture books, and I guess people don't really rate picture books very often. I know I don't add them to my collection very often, but these are ones that you definitely should check out that have low ratings. So first up is Pop by Jason Carter Eaton. This is illustrated by Matt Rockefeller, and this is just such a cute little boy who is traveling around trying to pop this bubble, and he just gets higher and higher in the air trying to track this bubble down, and it's just so cute and so much fun. Next up is National Parks of the USA by Kate Cyber and illustrated by Chris Turnham, and this book is absolutely fantastic. This is just literally a tour of the national parks of America. There's so much information. The infographics are awesome, and I just think this would be totally fun to share with a kid, especially if you're going to take them out to one of the national parks. It would be a perfect read. And this only has 133 ratings and 66 reviews. Next is one that does kind of surprise me. It did just come out in October, but still, I'm really surprised by this. This is Elbow Grease by John Cena, illustrated by Howard McWilliam, and my kiddos at school love this book. Just by the fact that it's narrated, or it's created by John Cena is enough to get them going. This is about Elbow Grease, a little electronic muscle truck, monster truck that encounters some difficulties, and he has to use some elbow grease and gumption to get through. And it's a really cute book, and again, the kids are just sold by the fact that it's John Cena. And I do think it's really awesome to have somebody like John Cena not only writing children's books, but really promoting reading, because I think boys, especially younger boys, have a tendency not to want to read. They view it as possibly a girly task or something that's not necessarily worthy of their time. So when you have someone like John Cena really pushing for reading and books, it really helps when you're trying to get young kids to read. And this only has 144 ratings and 37 reviews. Highly recommend. Next is Sloth at the Zoo by Helen Beaker, and this is illustrated by Orby, and this is so cute. The sloth is supposed to be dropped off at the zoo, but they're just really slow pace. So Zoom is kind of a pun on the slow movements of the sloth, and it's just such a cute book. It didn't get a lot of hype when it came out, but I really enjoyed it. And this only has 149 ratings and 53 reviews. Next up is the whole Noodlehead series, basically, but in particular, Noodlehead Nightmares. This is by Ted Arnold, author of Fly Guy and Martha Hamilton, as well as Mitch Weiss. And I have no idea why the author of Fly Guy's books aren't like just through the roof with ratings. Again, I think just children's books just don't get a lot of ratings here on Goodreads, but Noodleheads is hilarious. You have two little noodles called Mac and Mac, and they get into all kinds of trouble. It reminds me a lot of like the Amelia Bedelia stories, where they take things very literally, they're very gullible, and it leads to a lot of funny occurrences. And this is set in kind of a graphic novel style for children, and my kiddos love the Noodleheads. Their stories are hilarious, and I highly recommend them. Next up is Fight Club by Ethan Long. This book is so cute. We have these traditionally scary monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein and the Mummy, and they're all training for the upcoming Halloween season to be able to scare children. And this little bunny wants to join the club, but they don't want him to join because they don't think he's scary. But they're in for quite a treat when the bunny decides he wants to join anyway. And they're so cute. I love all of the books in this series, but this one in particular only has 526 ratings and 107 reviews, and I think it is just fantastic. Next up, same thing, fantastic. Not sure why it doesn't have as many reviews. It's called XO Ox, A Love Story by Adam Rex, illustrated by Scott Campbell. And this is so adorable. The ox on the cover is in love with this gazelle who is famous, and he keeps writing to her, and she decides she's not interested in him. He's just a simple ox. But when push comes to shove, she finds out that he really has true feelings for her, and that is worth a lot in this world. And it's so cute. I love this book. It's fantastic. Next up is probably one of my favorite children's books ever, and that is Thelma the Unicorn by Aaron Blabey. I talk about Aaron Blabey all the time. He writes the Pig the Pug books and the Bad Guy series, which I talk about all the time on my channel. And this standalone book is absolutely fantastic. We follow this cute little horse named Thelma who really desperately wants to be a unicorn, and by a strange sequence of events she does end up becoming a unicorn, but it's not all that she had hoped. And I love, love, love Thelma. I just read this to my kids, well, actually played this for my kids a couple weeks ago. There is an online video where Aaron Blabey reads it aloud, and he is so fantastic. If you have children or you buy books for children, get an Aaron Blabey book in their hands. He's fantastic. This only has 1,015 ratings and 187 reviews, and it deserves way more because it is fantastic. Next up, I've got two middle grade books. The first one is The Race to Chimney Rock. This is the first book in the Oregon Trail series by Jesse Wiley. This is a choose your own adventure Oregon Trail series, and it's so fun. It is just like the Oregon Trail game, but in book form, and I think this would pair perfectly with social studies classes studying this time period and Western expansion. So highly recommend. Super fun. And last but not least, a middle grade poetry verse story. It's Ebb and Flow by Heather Smith. I read this for a review group. It's not something I probably would have picked up otherwise, but it is so good. It deals a lot with reflecting on your interactions with people and guilt and learning to be a better person, and I just absolutely love this book. It's so beautiful and moving and heartwarming and amazing, and I definitely recommend it. It only has 336 ratings and 109 reviews. And there you have it, my top 10 underrated books for children in middle grade age groups. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye for now.